They're clearing out whole neighborhoods in the occupied West Bank. The streets and pipes are all torn up by bulldozers and tanks. Tens of thousands of refugees have been driven from Jenin. For those old enough to remember, it's a very familiar scene, just like 1948, from whence came their kin. Meanwhile in Gaza, they're not letting the food in. They're clearing out their cabinets across the USA from all the workers fired before they might get in the way of the consolidation of power. Even more inept and kleptocratic than ever before. And the word came from the White House, let the genocide begin. Meanwhile in Gaza, they're not letting the food in. The media's focus, or at least the lion's share, when it's not honed in on the orange man's hair, is just asking the question, what is to be done if in the Ukrainian war the Russians have won and Europe falls under the evil Putin? Meanwhile in Gaza, they're not letting the food in. Talk about freedom from a dictator's control of the great sacred mission to make Ukraine whole. Democracy matters somewhere anyway, like Europe and the USA. But as for Ramallah, it's let the colonists win. Meanwhile in Gaza, they're not letting the food in. Plan is to starve them until they come out. In order to annex first, they have to have a route. Make them die, and whoever's still there can find some country to take them or go somewhere. The hedge fund managers say chin chin. Meanwhile in Gaza, they're not letting the food in. And they're clearing out whole neighborhoods in the occupied West Bank.